I wasn't going away.
Go. In saying where you grew up, right? So tell me about like, so would that be like why you leaned into? Well, first of all, let me know the organization that you're partnered with, all that, and what they do and what you do with them, and all the things that come with that. This is the part where I'll be quiet again.
Okay, so the organization is called Imagine Mentoring of Michigan. That's the name of the foundation. And it was started by a high school friend of mine. And I wasn't a part of it until the last 2 or 3 years. And initially, I was brought on board to participate in the camps and help the kids learn about nutrition and health and fitness. But a year and a half ago, she wanted to bring me on board as an actual mentor. So now I have a dual responsibility in the foundation, which is mentoring the girls during the school year. And during the summer months, I help with the fit camps where I get the kids involved in fitness. And in the summer, the fit camps are girls and boys. The mentoring is the young girls during the school year.
What are some
So
stuff you talk to them about, if you don't mind me asking?
a lot of things, obviously with the girls, we talk about girl stuff, problems that they're having with other kids in school, things like that, and just kind of, leading them into learning how to deal with these things through the proper channels. Um, and then with the camps, with the girls and the boys, it's more it's more so just getting them involved with things. Now there's some, lessons that happen in between, but it's more about just getting them involved and just reminding them that they are kids and this is what kids do. Be active, move, do things, play. So um, there's no set itinerary. It kind of just depends on what's going on with the girls that day. Maybe they had a bad day in school, maybe something happened at home, something happened with a family member, or something going on with their body that they don't understand. So we're basically just there to be like, remember when we were growing up, we had like the Boys and Girls Club and Dare and Pal and all of those
I'm
things.
glad you transitioned us into that. Keep going, because that's exactly what I was.
Yeah, because that's kind of what we had back then, and because while they may have siblings, and a lot of them have like huge age gaps, like they may have a 14-year-old sister and they may be 8, but it's a different dynamic now. Like the 14-year-old doesn't want to be bothered with the 8-year-old, so the 8-year-old is not going to go to the sister and say, "Hey, can you help me with this or teach me about this?" And when we were growing up, that's when the Boys and Girls Club would come in at.
Right.
So I know those organizations are still around. I don't think they're as prevalent as they used to be. So we're kind of like the supplement to that.
And that's the thing I always tell people who work with young people, right? It needs to come from people who literally made it out. And it's
Yeah.
all well and good. It's all well and good to have organizations that gear all of their, like everything that they do is geared towards young people. But I think the missing link is relatability. And that's what I
Yes.
come to find. No matter what school I go into, it could be our black and brown babies, or it could be white kids. Relatability is important. And,
Oh
and
yeah.
for the white kids, it's like, wait, you mean you went through this as a kid and you're
Mm-hmm.
standing right here to tell me
Yeah.
this? Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
and just them conceptualizing living from that.
Yeah.
So their minds are a little more empathetic to black and brown struggle versus these organizations who kind of see us as like almost like charity cases, right? But when you get
Right.
people like
Right.
us who
Yep.
come from out of the turf and
Mm-hmm.
come back and tell the kids, no, you like, listen, man, and I tell kids all the time, this surprises them every time I go. I have 2 failed suicides. I dropped out of high school twice. I dropped out of college twice. Your start is not your finish. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And I think
Absolutely.
it shocks them to hear me say that, because in their mind, when they think high school dropout, when they think about addiction, when they think about suicide, they put a whole nother picture on it, not
Mm-hmm.
understanding that it could be anybody that goes through anything.
Right.
And I
Yep.
think
Yep.
when we say it, it means more.
Yeah, so you have someone whose route was, and not to take anything away from those individuals, but when their path was a little less challenging, or it was
Mhm.
very straight through, they didn't have to take a whole lot of detours or pivot a whole lot. Yeah, it's not always relatable, because how many people have that experience where it's so seamless? Very few. So when these kids get to hear how hard it was, the things that you did endure, and you're still able to come out and do these things, they have what's the word I'm looking for? It gives them more encouragement. It gives them more understanding that, okay, it doesn't have to be super smooth. It doesn't have to be so easy. And it's not always A to B straight. No, it is not. Because I can tell you, it's for me to go from A to B, in some cases, I had to go all around the world just to get to B. And a lot of people don't know that. And I'm actually in the process of working on a book, because my story is not what a lot of people think it is by any means. People do think I just had this straight, easy path, which, you know, is one of the stereotypes in our culture and our
But how
community.
could they
Like,
believe that with where you're from? If you just 15 minutes and listening to you talk about anything, you can hear the story.